Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK, and today is Friday, November 10th. If you are glad it is Friday, me too. Me too. I'm hoping the day goes very well, and we get to the weekend. Nice and easy. Just a couple announcements. No sprints tonight. It's Friday night. We don't do them on Friday night. We will have sprints tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be going for 5 hours. So I hope you are able to join us at least for a little bit. It's time for you to do whatever you want to do. If it's reading a book, bring your own book. If you are needing the time to work on a hobby, a gift for Christmas, like I'm doing, or just close your eyes and meditate, relaxing, because weekends are for rejuvenating and recuperating and all that stuff. So tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to take a look at the books that I have read so far this year and do sort of an impromptu tier ranking-ish. At least I'm going to look at each month and choose my favorite, which some months it's easy, some months it's not so easy. So let us do this. So in January, we're going to jump right into it because time goes quickly. So I've had a stellar year. I have to say that right off the bat. Absolutely stellar year. And I attribute that to the reading sprints. I absolutely do. So the first book I read in the year was The Secret of the Lost Pearls, which is part of the Rosalind Thorne historical mystery set during Regency period. I then read Assassin's Apprentice, which is the first of the Robin Hobb Farseer trilogy. Really liked that. Then I read Exit Strategy by Martha Wells, part of the Murderbot series. I then read A Theft of Swords, which is a compilation of the first 2 books by Michael Sullivan in the Ruria Revelations. Then I did a nostalgia first book ever released in the Love Swept category romance books from the 80s. This was Heaven's Price by Sandra Brown. And The Reunion by Kayla Olson. That was a standalone. Whoa. Be careful there. And then the Nexus series for me, Murder on St. Nicholas Avenue by Victoria Thompson. It's number 18 in the Gaslight Mystery Series. Alice Sabo does a great fantasy series called The Tales of Haroun, and they're not large books at all. I found them last December when I was looking for trying to boost my numbers, because back then I wasn't reading as much. And the words just sing in my brain. I don't know why, but this was called River Flowing. It's the 4th book in that series. And then I read Design for Dying by Renee Patrick. This was his first in a historical mystery series set in Los Angeles in the 1930s. If you know who Edith Head is, of an actual person from Hollywood, she was a costume designer. This one I had picked up for a scavenger hunt. I will get back to it. I haven't yet. But I was at a BoucherCon when they debuted this book. It's a husband and wife team. And I thought it was not bad. Then I read another sci-fi. This is called Astray by Jenny Schwartz, first in the Adventures of a Xenoarchaeologist. Really like that one. And another historical mystery. If you can't tell, as we go through, these historical mysteries are my absolute favorite. Those, if I had to pick just one subgenre to read, it would be historical mysteries. This is Old Scores, 9th in series by Will Thomas. This is Barker and Llewellyn, sort of a Sherlock and Watson kind of dynamic there. And then because of Sarah the Bookish Knitter, I have started to open my horizons to category romance. And Shannon Stacy, this was the first one in her Sutton's Place series. absolutely love this series. I love her writing, and each chapter starts off with little blurbs from the small town Facebook page, which feels sort of Bridgerton there if you are looking for something, but it's set contemporary. I really, really love this series. And then I read Three Dahlias. This is the first in a series by Katie Watson, and this features three actresses who have played the same role, reminiscent of an Agatha Christie type of role. And so you've got the three different age groups, young, middle, and senior citizen actresses who get together to solve this crime. And then trying to read more cozies, I read Buttercream Bump Off. This is second in the Cupcake Bakery series by Jen McKinley. So of these books, I'll do a favorite. Sometimes there'll be a second place if I have a hard time deciding. And then I might sometimes choose a least favorite. So of these, I have to say my favorite was Theft of Swords. It just absolutely what I look for in a fantasy adventure, camaraderie, uh, saving the kingdom. Love, love, love that. Um, Loved it. Least favorite, I'm gonna have to say the Sandra Brown Heavens Prize. It was very, very, very dated. Published in the 80s, and it was written in the 80s. Annalise says, "Hi there, I found you. Was I lost? Were you lost? I'm sorry." This is Happy Friday, y'all. Did I click on the wrong one? I don't think I did. While I'm here, let me get rid of this banner. Thank you for being here, Annalise. I'm just looking at the books that I've read this year and kind of tier ranking or picking favorites. Then I read. Hi, Mary. Sorry I'm late. Was up early this morning, but got sidetracked. Absolutely. That's okay. It's Friday. Anything goes on Friday. Happy Friday, TGIF. Absolutely. So I'm just looking at the books that I've read this year so far. I've read a total of 123, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me, but I absolutely attribute it to the sprints. But we're going to go through these pretty quickly because time goes by fast. So then I reread, this was the very first romance book, adult romance book I ever read. I snuck it out from my mom's stack of books, Flame of the Flowers. I decided to reread it. And then I was still in the mood for romance, so I read the next in series for me for in the Bridgerton, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. I think this one was my favorite that I had read so far, and that's as far as I've read. Then Fantasy, The Blade Itself, The First and the First Law by Joe Abercrombie. And then a cozy romance, Granny's Got Her Gun, first book in the Secret Agent Granny series. I believe those are Kindle Unlimited. That's by Harper Lynn. And then Deborah Crombie had taken a break from her series for a couple years. And this was her first one returning, A Killing of Innocents, in that police procedural set in London. Then J.D. Robb had a new one out in February, Encore in Death, her 56th book. We love that. And then I mentioned in the previous month, Alice Sabo. This was the fifth book in the Tales of Haroun fantasy series. I don't know why. They're not big books, but the words just make my brain happy. And then this one I read for another scavenger hunt, The Quiche of Death, first in the Agatha Raisin series. She is a hoot of a character. And then read Black Velvet, first in the Aaron O'Reilly mysteries. This is a police procedural contemporary. This might have been for another scavenger hunt. I'm not quite sure. No, it wasn't, but somehow I found it. Granny's Got the Gun was a scavenger hunt one. And then another Martha Wells Murderbot book. This was a novella, because they're all pretty short. But this was a 4.5 in that series. And so of all of these, I would say my favorite was, and by favorite I'm saying stuck with me, impacted, and so forth, not any reflection necessarily on the author or the book, might be The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. I had not read this author before, and I just love that kind of fantasy story. Least favorite, sadly, was Kathleen Woodiwiss. This is a gothic romance written in the 70s, and back when taking advantage was considered love. It does eventually turn to love, but yeah, wasn't as thrilled. That's incredible. Ah, yes. And saying good morning. Doing good. Another show tomorrow. Oh, that's good. The others have been very slow. It's getting closer to Christmas, so it's definitely possible. Things will pick up. All right. So this was March. Looks like I read 12 books that month. Read Carolyn Brown's Small Town Rumors. It is a standalone contemporary romance. Then I read the very first in Deanna Rayburn's Veronica Speedwell, historical mystery set in the 1880s. Love this series. Love Deanna Rayburn. Pretty much anything she writes. Highly recommend that series. Then I read Cappuccino, first in the Zion Sawyer Cozy Mysteries. This was for a scavenger hunt. I think it was Drink on the cover. And I'm very, very glad I found it. I have really been surprised with the books that I've been doing for the scavenger hunt. That's on Killer Cozies. Um, and those are hosted by Beach Bum Bookworm, Storm Reads, Dark Roots Creations, and Sarah the Bookish Knitter. And you might have come across them in reading sprints. But I've been very surprised in the books that I have found to read during these, and this was one of them. And then Sherry Thomas. This was 7th in the Lady Sherlock series, A Tempest at Sea. I absolutely love and adore this series. I found it last year and just gobbled them up. They are so smart. And the ending reveals are kind of like an onion. What you think might be the end is not necessarily it. She plots very well. Then loving the Michael J. Sullivan so much, I read the next compilation, which was books 3 and 4 in the Ruria Revelations. This was Rise of Empire. And Blood is Blood, next in the Barker and Llewellyn, number 10 by Will Thomas. Again, a Sherlock and Watson kind of dynamic there. 3 Drops of Blood, standalone by Gretchen McNeil. And then loving that Shannon Stacy category romance, I read the next in the Sutton's Place, which was An Unexpected Cowboy. Shannon Stacy takes the romance tropes that I don't like and turns them into logical, enjoyable reads. I highly recommend her. And then, having enjoyed Cappuccino so much, I read the second in the series, in the Zion Sawyer series. This was Cafe au Lait. And I don't think I mentioned the author is Emil Hamilton. These are Kindle Unlimited. Really, really liked it. And then I read the second in that Adventures of the Xenoarchaeologist sci-fi that I like so much by Jenny Schwartz. This was called Doubt. And then I do like the occasional legal book. This is a series by Marty Green, The Innocent Prisoners Project. This is book number 5, contemporary set in, I believe it's New York. And then I read the first in the Andrea Penrose series, Murder on Black Swan Lane, set in Regency, but it's not necessarily your Jane Austen Regency. It is more of the scientific discovery Regency. This is the first in that series. Really, really, really love this. And this was an excellent reading month. I'm not sure what to choose. I think I might do a first place and second place. First place, absolutely the Sherry Thomas. I highly, highly recommend that series. Start in the beginning. Second place, oh, we're going to do second and third. This was such a good month. Second place, Veronica Speedwell book, A Curious Beginning, Deanna Rayburn. And then third place, Andrea Penrose, Murder on Black Swan Lane. Least favorite, I think it was 3 Drops of Blood. Yeah. Disappointing. Okay, on to April. I'll check back in with you guys. And at least hope you're selling out your stuff. Absolutely. She's telling the truth. Not only is your total number read impressive, you remember each one. I have read 9 books since we started. And you got hard pressed to tell. I don't always remember each one. I'm definitely using Goodreads here as a little sneak. Then I read the third in the Shannon Stacy category romance, Expecting Her Ex's Baby, Sutton's Place number 3. Again, just love that small town feel, the little snarky beginning chapter blurbs, and the tropes are awful. I hate, there's a lot of romance category romance tropes I do not like the pregnancy one like this one, but she makes it work. Then I read the first in the Kate Burkholder procedural for Amish in April. This is Sworn to Silence. This is like Amish adjacent. So I read that. Then the next in series in the Victoria Thompson Gaslight Mystery, Murder in Morningside Heights. Then loving Veronica Speedwell, I read the second one, A Perilous Undertaking. Another really good fantasy or sci-fi author is Nathan Lowell. This was third in a trilogy set. This is called Finwell Bay. Really love his writing. And then still loving The Adventures in Xenoarchaeologist. This was the third one called Rebel. Great cover too. And then C.S. Harris, who I will say is my all-time favorite historical mystery author. She put out her new book for 2023. This is called Who Cries for the Lost, 18th in the Sebastian Sincere series set in Regency time. Read from the beginning. Absolutely fantastic historical mystery series. Hands down. Then I read Mr. Churchill's Secretary. This is first in the Maggie Hope historical mystery series set during World War II. She's a secretary to Churchill. I think this was a scavenger hunt book as well, but I really, really like it. I have to continue in that. Read a standalone romance, or it's not a standalone, it's a part of a series, but it's first in the Moonlight Harbor series. Welcome to Moonlight Harbor. I liked it, by Sheila Roberts. Then again, loved Shannon Stacy, Falling for His Fake Girlfriend, Sutton's Place number 4. Can you tell I like that series? I do. So first place, C.S. Harris. Love, love, love. Second place, Deanna Rayburn, Veronica Speedwell. Great, great series. Least favorite, though, in this case, there are a lot of super good ones here. Perhaps Sworn to Silence. It wasn't bad. It was 3. All right, that was April. Let's go to May. 16 books. Holy moly. We might be here a little bit longer today, guys. In May, the Killer Cozy group does middle grade March, and so I read The Secret Life of Ms. Finkelman. Really excellent book. I love this author. I've read his adult books, and this is Ben H. Winters. Really, really enjoyed that book. Then I read the second book in the Rexford and Sloane, Murder at Half Moon Gate, An American in Scotland by Lucy Connolly, first in the Scottish Isle mystery. Loved it. Read Cajole. This is fourth in the Adventures of the Xenoarchaeologist by Jenny Schwartz, that sci-fi book. I've not read the fifth one. I've been holding off because it's the last one. And again, loving that Zion Sawyer cozy mystery. I read the next book, Espresso, and love sci-fi. So I read the Nexus series for me and the Honor Harrington. If you like sci-fi, humans in space kind of sci-fi, which I do. I don't like aliens in space. This was Mission of Honor, 12th in that series. This was a scavenger hunt pick for me, Drop Dead Bread by Victoria Kazarian, first in the Laughing Loaf Bakery his mysteries. It was kind of disappointing. Then I read, because of the gorgeous cover, The Enchanted Hacienda by C.J. Cervantes. It was kind of disappointing to me. And then read A Body in the Library, Miss Marple book. I had never read a Miss Marple before. I prefer Hercule Poirot, and wasn't that impressed. I still don't like Miss Marple. And then I read A Murder in Time, first book in the Kendra Donovan series. This is a time travel. She is a cop present, or actually she's in the FBI present day. And then through whatever, I won't reveal it, she gets thrown back in time to the Regency era, and she solves a crime. This one I picked for another scavenger hunt, I believe. It was a beautiful cover. This is a fantasy fairy tale retelling, Dance of Silver and Shadow by Melanie Cellier. I think that cover's gorgeous. Book was then read Lady Anne and the Howl in the Dark. This is first in the Lady Howl series by Donnelly Simpson, Georgian, I believe. Then I finished a reread of a China Bale's book, just picking up here and there, Rueful Death by Susan Winick Albert. Read these way back in the day, 25 years ago or so. Thought it'd be fun to do a reread. Read the Nexus series for me, A Treacherous Curse by Deanna Rayburn, book number 3. Love that series. Then did a standalone, I think this was a library book, It Could Be Anyone by Jamie Lynn Hendricks. Thrillerish, yeah. And then Claudia Gray put out her second book in the Darcy, The Children of Darcy, set in the world of Jane Austen, all the characters in one, the late Mrs. Willoughby. We're going to stay for a little bit, guys. So favorite here, absolutely An American in Scotland. I can't wait for the second book to come out. I think it's in January. Least favorite book, Drop Dead Bread. I was very disappointed. And Enchanted Hacienda, kind of have a tie there. Not really thrilled with that. Let's go halfway through the year. So let's do June super quick. 11 books there. Diligent Point. I was so happy that Alice Sable put out a new book in her Haroun, Tales of Haroun, book number 6. Love that cover. That is a gorgeous cover. Andrea Penrose read the next in that one, third in that series, Murder at Kensington Palace, Rexford and Sloane. Read Deadly Summer Nights first in the Catskill Summer Resort Mystery Series by Vicki Delaney. This was a scavenger hunt pick. I was disappointed. I had high hopes because it has sort of that Dirty Dancing set, and I was kind of disappointed. Read Murder in the White House. This was another scavenger hunt pick. This is by Margaret Truman, published back in the 80s. Capital Crimes number 1. Gave it a 3. Actually, looks like 4 stars. Wasn't bad. Then, as an experiment, as just to be able to talk intelligently about it, I read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yaros. I gave it a 3. It wasn't bad. There were flaws, but people have loved it. And Tears of Pearls, a reread for me for Tasha Alexander's historical mystery series. I think this is the one that I always have stalled out on. I don't know what it is about this book, but I stalled out. But I finally finished it. Even back then, that's where I stalled out in reading the series previously. Historical mystery, if you like that. Listen to the audiobook of Stormfront. This was kind of a reread from a long time ago. Audiobook is the way to go. The performer does an absolutely fabulous job in this, if you want to do a little paranormal, supernatural kind of thing. Nathan Lowell put out a new one in his sci-fi series, which made me so very happy. This one's called School Days. If you like humans in space, absolutely recommend, but start with his first book so you kind of understand the world, which is called Quarter Share. Then I read the next in series by Julie McElwain, A Twist in Time. She is still in Regency time period solving crimes. Then I read the next in series by Will Thomas, Lethal Pursuit, the 11th in series, again, Sherlock and Watson kind of dynamic. And then I read The Watchman's Daughter, Glass and Steel, number 1. No, it wasn't a scavenger hunt, but I think I just had it, read it. It was all right. So, absolute favorite in this set, goodness, hard to say. Maybe the Andrea Penrose Murder in Kensington Palace. Least favorite, I would say Deadly Summer Nights. I was very disappointed. Maybe the second one will be better. I have to give it a chance. But that's all we have time for today, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out here. I appreciate you visiting. You're getting a few drops. Oh, awesome. Oh, no kidding. I hope it does that for a while. And Annalise will check out the sci-fi. Nathan Lowell, quarter share. Mary, we are under emergency conditions due to drought, so each drop is precious. There are a lot of fires going that have been, oh, we have had that in Montana for many, many years. And, oh my Mary, that's rough. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Again, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, sprints will be tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to go to work. It is my birthday today, so I'm going to have some cake later. I'm going to let myself splurge on that. I think Steve is going to bring home some dinner and just kind of get through the day. I am turning, I have turned 57 years today. So we're going for the big numbers. I'm not one of those who stops at 29. Have a great day and weekend, Annalise. Hope to see you later today on Thunder Horse Descendant. Yes. Hope you have a good show this weekend. Everybody be safe, be happy. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Om nom nom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for singing, Mary. Thank you guys, both of you. I appreciate you guys so much, and much love to you both. All right, we'll see you later. Have a good weekend. God bless.